Hello grade 7, this is Mrs. Lopez. Today we are learning from Module 2 Lesson 18, Writing, Evaluating, and Finding Equivalent Expressions with Rational Numbers. This lesson is a little bit out of our regular 1, 2, 3, 4 lesson schedule, but it fits in very well with whatever we are learning right now. So let's look at exercise 1. John's father asked him to compare several cell phone plans and identify which plan will be the least expensive for the family. Each company charges a monthly fee, but that does not include phone lines, texting, or internet access. Use the information in the table to answer the questions. So we have three different cell phone plans. We have company A, B, and C. You can name it if you want. It'll be more interesting. Um, so each company charges monthly fee. So company A charges 70, company B 90, company C 200. And they also have different costs for different lines, texting, and internet access. Okay. All members of the family may not want identical plans. Therefore, we will let X represent the number of phone lines, Y will represent the number of phone lines with unlimited texting, and Z represents the number of phone lines with internet access. Okay, so what we want to do right now is to write expressions for each company that will give us how much total we will need to pay for each company. So, for example, let's look at company A. Company A charges $70 no matter what. So we are going to write that 70 as a monthly fee. And then for each line, they're paying $20 or they're asking $20, right? So we need to add that to the cost of 70 because we will have to pay extra. And that'll be 20 for each line. So if I have two lines, I will have to pay twice as much, right? So we will need to multiply 20 by the number of phone lines that we have. That's why it's 20x. Then we have unlimited texting per line. So again, for each line, we'll have to pay $15, but there may be 2 or 3 or 4 lines, who knows, right? So instead of that line, we are going to put Y and multiply that 15 by that number. 15Y. And then for the internet access, they also charge $15 per line. So depends on how many lines there are. That's how much the total cost is going to change. So again, 15, and now it's Z, right? So this is the first expression for the first company. I would like you to pause this video right now and write the rest of it for company B and for company C. And when you're done, compare with my answers. Okay, so that's how my answers are looking. Please compare. So for company B charges $90 plus 15 for each line plus 15 for each line plus $10 for each texting and for texting per line and $20 for each internet access per line. And company C has only monthly fee that includes already the texting and the internet and also charges $10 per line. Okay, so we are going to use these expressions to answer the next questions. Using the expressions above, we need to find the cost to the family in each company's phone plan if 4 people want a phone line, 4 people want unlimited texting, and the family needs 2 internet lines. Okay, so I'm going to just put those expressions right in front of us so you can see that right here. And we are going to compare them. Okay, so I'll just put them here. All right, so 4 people want a phone line. So for company A, we will have $70 that they're going to pay no matter what, right? So $70 is our fee monthly. And then 4 people want a phone line, so we'll need to take 4 lines, right? Plus 20 that we'll have to multiply by 4. 4 people want unlimited texting. So unlimited texting is our Y. That we are going to multiply by the $15 plus 15 times 4. And then we'll have family needs 2 internet lines. We are going to take 2 for the internet and multiply that by 15 times 2. All right. So now we just need to calculate how much they're going to pay. So we have 70, 20 times 4 is 80, 15 times 4 is 60, and 15 times 2 is 30. Okay, so 70 plus 80 is 150. 150 plus 90 is going to be 240. So $240 is going to be their price. Okay, let's look at company B. Company B, we are going to use this expression right here. They charge $90 no matter what. And then for each phone line, we need to pay 15. So we will multiply 15 by 4. And then for each texting, we need to multiply by 10. 10 times 4. And then they have 2 internet lines. So 20 times 2. Okay. I'm going to stop here, and I want you to pause this video and um, do your do your equations for company B and for company C. Find out the total cost, and then we will compare our answers. All right, so this is what I came up with. Um, so the price for the company B is going to be 230, and the price for C is 240. This one is the easiest one because all we need to do is to include 4 lines, and we already have the cost. Okay. So the question is, which cell phone company should John's family choose, and why? Well, if we look at these 3 companies, company B will be the cheapest, right? So that's, I would say, the one that we should recommend for John's family, right? So we are going to write John's family should choose company B because it's the cheapest. I would rather say it has the cheapest price, right? It has the cheapest price. Okay, that will sound better. Okay, now let's look at the other situation, and we are going to use exactly the same expressions, but now we have um, a different criteria to go by. So we have 4 people who want a phone line, 4 people who want unlimited texting, and all 4 people want internet access. So we are going to use the same expressions and come up with our um, our answers for each company. So pause the video, do the total, find out the total cost for company A, B, and C, and then we'll compare our answers. Okay, so my answers are $274 for company A, 270 for company B, and 240 for company C. In this case, when all 4 people want unlimited internet access, or internet lines rather, uh, we want to go with the company C because now it has the cheapest price. Okay, so that's what we are going to put in our recommendation. John's family should choose company C because it has the cheapest price. Okay, we have one more situation to go. Two people want a phone line, two people want unlimited texting, and the family needs two internet lines. So again, pause the video, come up with your answers, and then we'll compare. Okay, so my answers are company A is $170. We'll have to pay $180 to company B and $220 to company C. In this case, when only two people need phone lines, unlimited texting, and internet lines, company A offers the best price. So John's family should choose company A because now it has the cheapest price or the better price. All right. So I think this exercise is very important for our everyday life, right? Because when we are not sure what company to choose, it doesn't have to be a cell phone; it can be anything. Uh, uh, a video game that you want to buy, right? You want to compare the prices and you want to see which one's cheaper, and depending on um, how many people are going to use the thing that you're going to buy, um, that's how you can choose the price. Okay, exercise 2. Three friends went to the movies. Each purchased a medium-sized popcorn for P dollars and a small soft drink for S dollars. Write the expression that represents the total amount of money in dollars the three friends spent at the concession stand. Okay, so we will know that three friends went to the movie, right? So we know that there will be three of everything. Each purchased a medium-sized popcorn for P dollars and small soft drink for S dollars. So each of them will have to spend money for popcorn and for soft drink. Okay, so we will have three people who are buying popcorn and drinks. Okay, we can also write three people who are buying popcorn and three people who are buying soft drinks. We can write it this way too. All right, either expression will work just fine. B. If the concession stand charges $650 for a medium-sized popcorn and $4 for a small soft drink, how much did these three friends spend on their refreshments altogether? We can use either expression that you want to use. So I would use this one because I believe it's the most efficient one. I will I will multiply 3 by the sum of $6.50 and $4. Okay, that means I will multiply 3 by $10.50. Okay, and 3 times 10.50 We can just count it this way. 3 times 10 is going to be $30, and 3 times 50 cents is $1.50. So it should be $31.50. 31.50. Okay. All right. So we need to write the answer. $31.50 is the total cost. Okay. All right. Exercise 3. Create an equivalent expression for the one given. Verify that your expressions are equivalent by evaluating with the given value. So here we have our original expression. We have another expression that is equivalent, and we have the given values that we are going to substitute for each of the variables that we have. So in the original expression, we will substitute 2 for x and -1 for y. The same thing we will do for x and for y in our equivalent expression, and we will see if they indeed have the same answer. If they're that's how we'll prove that they're equivalent, right? So 4 times 2 plus 2 times -1. Okay, so 2 times -1 is -2, right? 2 plus -2 is a 0, and 0 multiplied by 4 is 0. And that works. 4 times 2 is going to be 8. 8 times -1 is -8. So you will have 8 plus -8, and that is also a 0. Okay. So that was your example. Now, let's look at the next one. -3x plus 12y. -3x plus 12y. We will need to substitute 5 for x and -2 for y. So we'll have -3 times 5 plus 12 times -2. -3 times 5 is -15, and then we have plus 12 times -2 is -24, and then -15 plus -24 is -39. Okay, the equivalent expression that I can come up with is 3 if I take that 3 out of the parentheses, because I know that 3 can make 3 and it also can make 12. So I will take 3 outside the parentheses, and I'm going to write down -1 or -x, that's what is left, plus 4y, and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to write 3 times, and -x's will be -y, -5, plus 4, and that we are multiplying by -2. Okay, so negative 4 plus times -2 is going to be -8, and we have -5 here. So we will have 3 times -13, and that is also -39. Okay. Last one here is -2x plus 10x minus 6y. Notice there is a minus sign that we will change into plus negative. So we will have -2x plus 10x plus -6y, just to make sure that you are doing everything correctly and you don't not losing your signs. Okay, so we'll have -2, and x is -1/2, so that's what we're going to multiply -2 by, -1/2. plus 10 we are multiplying by negative 1/2 plus negative 6 we are going to multiply by positive 1. Okay, so now we have negative 2 times negative 1/2. Remember how we can put negative 2 over 1, right? So negative 2 times negative 1/2, negative 1/2 is actually the reciprocal of 2, and that will give us only 1. 10 multiplied by negative 1/2, 10 and 2 can be simplified, and 10 divided by 2 is 5, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So you will have 5, and this will be negative, so let's see, I will just write it here. 1. 5 times negative 1 will give you negative 5 plus, and then we have negative 6 times 1 is still negative 6. Negative 6. Negative 5 and negative 6 together give us negative 11, and negative 11 plus 1 will give you negative 10. All right. The equivalent expression that we can come up with is if I look at these three numbers and I can actually combine negative 2x and 10x, right? If I look at it, I have negative 2x and 10x. Negative 2 plus 10, that gives you 8x. So 8x plus negative 6y. Let's see if that will work. If I multiply 8 by negative 1/2 plus negative 6 multiplied by 1, we will get 8 can be simplified with 2, dividing both numbers by 2. 8 will become a 4, 2 will become a 1. So 4 times negative 1 will give you negative 4. And then plus negative 6 times 1 will give you still negative 6. Negative 4 plus negative 10 is negative 6 is negative 10. That works. We got the same answer. This is it for lesson 18. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will talk in the next lesson.